Good evening, everybody. Please let me share please. So, good evening, everybody. Please let me share with everybody. Oh, God. Can anybody hear me? Oh, hello. Can anybody hear me? Hello. Can anybody hear me?
Sir, your voice is not clear.
Yeah.
It's echoing.
Can you hear me?
Your voice is in slow
Your voice
motion.
is in slow motion.
I guess the network is bad.
Hope it will get better. Okay, now.
So your voice is very slow.
Your voice is not clear. Elizabeth, can you hear? Can you hear us?
We can't hear you. Maybe change your network.
The voice is not clear, sir.
Hello, guys.
Your voice is not clear.
Is it better? I'm trying to make it better. Just be better. Is not the device's network? Is it better?
Is it okay now? What of now? Is it better?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
it's better.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, it's clear now.
Okay. So for us not to disturb the class, we are going to mute everybody. So at one point in time, if you have any question, I'm going to ask. But for the first time, Is there new people in this class that are just joining this class for the first time today? Please let me see your hands up. Just raise up your hand if you are new in this class today. Okay. We have plenty people. Okay. So, okay. So you can put down your hands, please. Everybody, let's put down our hands. Let's put down our hands. Thank you. So, welcome. You've not missed the class too much. This is what I want to do. And if you are still new in the class, probably you are just joining today or so, I sent assignment questions to the group chat, I think day before yesterday or yesterday, I can't remember. So, the reason why, so our class is twice in a week, Wednesday and Friday. But I noticed the slow motion in the way we react to this course, and I don't mean to be very, very fast because as of now, we're supposed to have entered chapter 4. So I remember last week, Wednesday, we tried to revisit chapter 1 and 2 last week before the assignment. So the response I'm getting, so how many of you attended the assignment? How many of you saw the assignment? Please let me see your hands up if you saw the assignment and you attended it. Most of us only saw it and ignore. Some people did not do anything. Some attempted it. Okay, thank you. If you attempted it, thank you. Thank you. So I am going to send the question. I'm going to read out the question to us. And for those of us that are just joining for the first time, this is Advanced Audit and Assurance class. This class, I need to tell us so that we know what we are up to. This lecture, as it is one of the most difficult paper because of the technicality. I mean, because of the way the question is being set. It is normal for us to be aware so that we'll get prepared. So, haven't we said this? There is material for this advanced audit and assurance, which is compiled and in cooperation with the new syllabus and likes by me myself. But nevertheless, I see that some people they are new. So if you are new in this class, there is material that is for this advanced audit and assurance. Summarized notes that you can read, and we'll be using it time to time for our class. It has past questions and also some review questions that we can solve together in the class. And all those past questions where you can find it in the Pathfinders is already incorporated there. But however, there are also some people here that they don't have the material and they don't bother to even ask. And I need to tell us that this is the only way. Apex is not collecting any money from anybody. But this is the only way. 3,000, 2,005 will not be much for you when they are receiving lectures free for you to buy. Some people will even be pricing, can I pay 2,500? Can I pay 2,000? That is really, really not. I'm sure if all of us are going to physical class per course, they cannot charge nothing less than 40,000 naira per course. And here you are getting it for free. And to even buy material, some people will be pricing it. I thought the material is free too. So please, we are professional here. After the class, for those of us that are new, or for most of us that are in the class before and we don't have the material, please you can reach out to me immediately after the class. So for those of us that just joining, you have not missed too much. We are going to try and see. We are going to try and see how we can be able to reanalyze those chapter 1 and 2. Then, before we now venture into this, into providing solution to that assignment that we sent to the class. So from there, all of us that are just joining for the first time will be able to catch up and meet us where we stopped last week. Then again, for all of us here, that please, this YouTube channel is new that we are using to stream live. So you help us to subscribe to it so that we can deliver better. Anytime we will send the, because after this class, we are going to send the YouTube link for you to watch the video again at your own will later, and also recording of this class. So if you are streaming live now, please help us to click on subscribe button so that you subscribe to the channel. And for those of us that are not on the live YouTube, maybe when we are seeing the video again, we can also do the same thing. So my name is Olatunji Idris. So I am your regular host for Advanced Audit and Assurance. So let us begin. This Advanced Audit and Assurance is one of the technical questions in professional. So we need to take it and narrow it down with technicality. I mean, everything, every question, every chapter we are going to be reviewing, every chapter we are going to be discussing in this class based on the technicality of the course itself. The question is not going to be direct. It's going to be on a scenario-based question. So you must be able to apply that your understanding of the scenario to the answer. So anytime you are not providing your answer in this Advanced Audit and Assurance, you should be able, you must try as much as possible. It is important for you to link your answer to the given scenario. Failure to do that, it is equivalent to you not been writing anything, and it is not good for our result. So please let us be attentive. For those of us that are just joining, you are in the right place. Welcome. This is Advanced Audit and Assurance. So we can begin. And if you have any question before we proceed further, for those of us that are new, you can quickly raise up your hand. I will attend to us so that we can proceed. Miss Juliet, can you please put down your hand, please? Okay, Miss Juliet, do you have anything to say? Juliet, please go on. You have the floor. You raise up your hand, Juliet. Okay, Oluwayemi, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma.
Yes, sir. Sir, please, how much is the...
I just said that you should reach out to me
privately.
Okay.
Okay, it's fine.
After the class. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, any other question for those of us that are just joining? Yemi, I want to believe you are joining for the first time, right?
Yes, sir, kind of, because the last time I tried to join, my network wasn't really good, so I didn't get the class. I had to leave. Yes, sir.
No problem. All right. Okay, Juliet, you have the floor. Juliet, are you there? Please, if you are just joining or you are not with your phone, please, anytime you come back, please help us to lower your hands so that we know the people that are asking questions. Okay, so let us proceed. Let me quickly try and give us the overview. The reason I'm doing this is for us to help the professional that are just joining for the first time, or this is the first time you are attending this class, or you've been in this class before, but you were unable to attend the class in one way or the other. So welcome to Advanced Audit and Assurance class. Like we said, we are going to be dishing out to us the technicality of this course and how we are going to navigate through. In my own word, Advanced Audit and Assurance is one of the simplest. So far you understand the concept of what you are writing, and the understandability of this course will make you to fall in love more and how to tackle real life scenario question and how to answer the question in an exam. So let us begin. We have 16 chapters in this Advanced Audit and Assurance. I'm sure most of us, let me say 40 to 50% in this class, they are not new to Advanced Audit and Assurance. They are either write it 2 times, 3 times. We've seen people that have written it more than even 4 times. But if we are going through a process, the same process, and the result is not given the way we want, it means there is that process, there is something we are getting wrong in that process. That is why we keep not getting the right answer. So, and this is the time for us to listen attentively. One of the things you need to do is to get your necessary learning material. The summarized note will help you. because as it is now, there is no new study pack that you can use. So, and that is why they provide us with the syllabus ahead of time so that students can use it to prepare themselves, pending the time that new this thing is going to come, a new study pack. So that is why we are here for you at Apex, to make it simple for you, get the summarized note for you to read through. You can so like I said, the old summarized note, the old material, which is a study pack, is not useless. It's still useful for even the course that they change the name entirely. Yeah, it's just that portion that they added into that this thing, that portion that they added into that syllabus, that is what is going to be added in the new material. So the old ones still remain the same, although they might still change one or two things there. But nevertheless, let us get the summarized note. You have the summarized note. We will send the pathfinder to you, where you can see all these topics where it has been tested in the last how many years, maybe 11, 10 years back. So, and how to familiar yourself with the way I can set question on advanced audit and assurance and the way they are expecting you to answer it. So, like I said, for those of us that are new, I'm sure many people are not new here, but in one way or the other, maybe the track they miss it. That is why they are still here again. But we are here together and we have common goal for us to pass and excel. So, and we are going to do that. Inshallah, may Almighty Allah help us. But it requires us to have a standard discipline for us to pass this exam. For me, audit and assurance is very interesting. It's very interesting. I can tell you, and that is why I try as much as possible. If you watch my past videos, I try as much as possible to simplify everything so that every point at every chapter you already know what you're supposed to write and how you're supposed to tackle each of the questions that comes. So let us start. I said we have 16 chapters in this in this advanced audit and assurance, and if you see the material you are going to go through it, the weight of each chapters and how it's affected in the syllabus. So let me quickly reiterate on the chapter 1 and chapter 2. Then from there I cannot send the questions to us here so that all of us can see to it together. And for those of us that have attempted the question in the group chat, all of us try. For those of us that attempted, but 95% of those people that attempted it, they plagiarize. I hope you know what the meaning of plagiarize. You just copy and paste. You just use AI. You just drop the question on AI. AI give you this thing, and you just drop it back to me like that. It is really wrong, because AI does not know the intention and the technicality of how AI can only give answer to the question that you ask. So, but you need to add some things to it to spice it up in order for it to correspond with the genuinity of that question. Because for those of us that just put it on AI, copy and paste back, so you are not trying to in a nutshell, you are not trying to relate your answer to that scenario, which is kind of bad. So, but in this class, I've tried to provide suggested solution to that question number 2, which is question number 1, which is one of the toughest one there. Then we now see it together. So by God's grace, this class is going to last for the next 1 hour for those of us that are just joining. So that on Friday, we'll move to chapter 4. And for those of us that are just joining, by the time I'll be able to quickly, in the next 30 minutes or 15 minutes out there, but by the time I'll be able to analyze the chapter 1 and 2 to you, then I'll now set the question, then we'll now review it together. Now you now join us where we stopped before we now move to chapter 4 on Friday. So thank you so much as we proceed. I said we have 16 chapters in this advanced audit and assurance, and chapter 1 talks about the assurance engagement, the overall, the house. Let me just mute everybody because some people did not mute their mic and it's affecting the class. So if you have any question to ask now, you can raise up your hand. When the time comes, I'm going to ask us. I'm going to tell us to ask questions by raising up your hand. Then, if I want to know if you are with me in the class, I will ask you to send the emoji so that you represent with your emoji so that we know that we're on the same page. So let us proceed. I said this chapter 1 is the house of everything. What we call assurance engagement. That is what number 1 is talking about. The meaning of assurance engagement, the form of assurance, and under the form, what are the things we need to know under it? That is what we want to discuss about here under the chapter 1. So if you understand the chapter 1 very well, then we'll be able to move to chapter 2. Because from chapter 1, if you understand the chapter 1 very well, chapter 2 will be like a continuation from chapter 1. So every chapter that we are going to be talking about. Now, chapter 1, we said assurance engagement. What do we mean by assurance engagement? Assurance engagement is nothing other than a situation or a process or any engagement where a practitioner they are talking about here in the context of this class, it can be an accountant or an auditor. A practitioner for the context of this class, because we are all a finance person. Either you're an accountant or you're an auditor or financial management. All of us, we are all in one circle. So the practitioner they are talking about here can be an accountant or an auditor. So an assurance engagement is that engagement where a practitioner, which is an accountant or an auditor, is called upon or is engaged by another person. That person is the owner of the company. Another person, the owner of the company, approach you, the practitioner, to come and give an opinion, to come and give your own thoughts, your advice on a piece of information that have been presented or prepared by another party. So here in this context, they are telling us that an assurance engagement is that engagement whereby you, the auditor, is called upon by the shareholder, the owner of the company, to come and give an opinion, your thoughts, and advice on the information they already provided to the owner of the company. So who now provided the information to who provided the information to the owner of the company before the shareholder, which is the owner of the company, now call you, the practitioner, to come and give opinion on that information. The accountant of the company, every company has their own accountant or the internal control, as the case may be. They prepare the account. After preparing the account, they now give the account to the shareholder that this is the report of our account for the financial year 2024, as the case may be. So, but the before shareholder can use that piece of information, the account, for its own decision or for users of that financial statement, for them to make economic decision, the shareholder need another assurance. Someone that can give him advice, that can assure him that, oh, this account they presented to you is of true and fair view. Every information they're in is okay. That is why they call you a practitioner to come and give opinion on that account. So in that process, that is what they call an assurance engagement. Please, are we together? For those of us that are just joining specifically, please let me see your emoji if you are following the class. Okay. This emoji is small now. Is there just 2 people in the class? All right. So haven't we understand that? So I'm sure we all know the way I just put this thing together now, that an assurance engagement is any engagement where a practitioner is called upon. A practitioner is called upon by another party. So this other party here is the owner of the company to come and give an opinion on set of information prepared by the third party. Who is the third party here? He is the what? He is the in-house accountant. That is, the in-house accountant prepared the financial report for the year and give it to the shareholder for his review. But the shareholder now need that, oh, before I can review this thing and satisfy on it, we have many investors that want to invest in our company, and it will not be nice if we just present this account to us without another person verifying it very well to assure us that, oh, all the information in this account is okay. Okay, let us engage a practitioner, which is an auditor. Auditor, please come and help us to review this account. After reviewing it, you'll be able to form an opinion on that account. And that opinion that you form, we will use that opinion to make decision whether to use the account for our immediate use or to also do necessary adjustment on it. That is the essence of any assurance engagement, is to express an opinion and to give comfort to the owner of the company that, oh, this set of information provided to me is of true and fair view, and it is prepared fairly in accordance with regulatory requirements. That is the essence of assurance engagement. I hope we are all following. For those of us that are just joining this class for the first time, and for all of us generally, but particularly for those of us that are just joining, because we need to understand the basis of what we are asked to even do. So after that, he said we have forms of assurance engagement. We have statutory assurance and non-statutory audit assurance and non-statutory audit assurance. Statutory audit assurance is that normal audit that we know, the audit of financial statement. Sorry, excuse me. The audit of the financial statement of a company to form an opinion whether that financial statement is of true and fair view and it is free from material misstatement, fairly presented, and also prepared in accordance with regulatory requirements. That is one of the form of what assurance engagement. The other type of that audit related, you remember that I said assurance engagement, we have two forms. We have statutory audit and non-statutory audit. Under statutory audit, we will define the meaning of that statutory audit. Is that examination of that financial statement by an independent auditor or by an independent person or independent auditor, as the case may be, to give opinion on the financial information of an organization. Once you give opinion on that financial information, so that you'll be able to use it for what? For economic decision. And the review of that account cover for a single financial year. That is that about statutory audit assurance. So under that is not only statutory account that we do, we also do other related or other audit related services. That is, under this, it might not be to come and audit financial statement. They can call you to come and review, to come and agree upon procedure or compilation. What is review here? Review is more or less like you are trying to give opinion on account that's already been prepared by another person. That is what we call review. In your office, or anywhere we are working, our oga can call us that, oh, Mr. or Mrs. Juliet or anybody, or Oluwayemisi, please prepare this report for me. After you prepare, please give it to another person or give it to me for me to review. It's telling you that for him to tell you to, after you prepare it, please give it to me to review. It's telling you indirectly that because you are the preparer of the report, there are some things that you will miss out, that you will not see. So for him to come and review it, so definitely everything that you did wrong in that report is going to spot it and correct it for you. That is the essence of reviewing work. So under statutory audit engagement, where we have we've defined that one as independent examination of financial record of an organization in order to form an opinion whether the financial statement is of true and fair view and free from material misstatement. So other audit related services that relate to audit, it can be review, agree upon procedure, or compilation. What is review? Review is just an engagement where the practitioner cross-examine a work that's already been done by another person. So when you cross-examine the work that has been done by another person, then you'll be able to use it to form an opinion. So by forming an opinion on that account, so the final user of that account will use it for what? For their economic I hope you can hear me. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Are we on the same page? Okay. So, under this agreed upon procedure is also another type of audit related services. But in this case, you are called upon by your client to come and agree on certain procedure that need to be followed in an organization. This is an example of agreed upon procedure. Let me quickly spell it out for us. As an auditor, they can call us to prepare questionnaire about a particular policy that an organization want to implement. So if they call you, please help us design a very good questionnaire on this topic. So if we design it, we'll be able to share it among our staff. So their opinion on that questionnaire, will now use that opinion to know whether to implement the policy or not to implement the policy. Then is another audit related services. That means that you are agreeing upon procedure that has been followed, that have been laid down by what? By your client. Now, compilation. Compilation might be to come and review an account for different year and give us the total sum of that review, or total report on that review of that account that you are asked to come and what? To come and prepare over a long period of time. It might be 2 years, might be 3 years, might be a year. But that compilation, and at every work, at every auditor's work, there's still a report that you are going to what? We are going to give to what? To the shareholder of the organization. So all these things, they are audit related services. So if we are clear about forms of assurance engagement under statutory audit, under statutory audit engagement, and we've explained the meaning of statutory audit engagement and other audit related services that you can find under statutory audit engagement. We have explained that, which is review, agreed upon procedure, and compilation. Now, the other forms is non-audit assurance. What is non-audit assurance? This non-audit assurance is another form of assurance engagement whereby a practitioner is called upon to come and give an opinion. Here you are still giving an opinion, but not on the financial information. Not on the financial information. Example of financial information here is the figures, everything that relates to that figures they presented in the financial statement. Those are the things we call financial information. Non-financial information, on the other side, there are the company policies, the procedure, the environmental policy, the employment policy, corporate social responsibility that is embedded in that client's mode of operation. That is what they call non-assurance services or non-financial information. Like I said, financial information, that are the information that relate to the figures in the financial statement, where we have our PPE, what figure do we have in our PPE, and how do we arrive at this figure. Those are financial information. So non-audit assurance goes with non-financial information, and under this they can be corporate social responsibility. They can call you to come and review on the corporate social responsibility, the environmental policy of that particular organization, the employment policy, the other non-financial performance indicators like due diligence, forensic investigation, everything, all these things that they not relate to financial information, they are what we call non-audit assurance. So that's about non-audit assurance. If you remember, I said for audit assurance, for the statutory audit assurance, we said the independent examination of financial information of a particular organization by an independent auditor, right? To give an opinion on that particular financial information, if it is of transfer view, free from matter, if the account is prepared with, if the account is fairly presented, if the account is free from material error and misstatement, and if the account is also prepared in accordance with regulatory requirements and framework, that is statutory audit requirement. But under non-statutory audit requirement, it is just like an engagement whereby a practitioner is called upon to come and give opinion on non-financial information, and this non-financial information will also help an organization to make economic decision. So one of the examples of non-audit assurance, we have due diligence. Due diligence is this kind of prior information you also investigate about your client. Due diligence, for those of us working in the bank, we used to call something KYC, know your customer. That is another example of due diligence, because for any engagement or any customer that want to come to your bank to come and open an account, you have to do KYC. KYC that you want to know their mode of operation, the kind of work they are doing, where they are staying, and their mode of their source of income. That is what is captured in the KYC. So due diligence in this case, as a finance person, is a situation whereby company A and B, we have two companies, company A and B. Company A want to buy company B, but company A cannot just drop the cash to just buy shares in the company, or that I just want to buy the shares. You need to engage a practitioner. Is that practitioner that will now go and do due diligence? So due diligence in this part is for the practitioner to go to company B and investigate about the company B. What is their mode of operation? What is their source of revenue? What is their profitability? Their liquidity rate, their profitability rate. Is this company worthwhile? If company A invests in this company B, will they see their return on investment in a short while? So company A will hire a practitioner to go and do investigation about company B, and it is that result or report that the practitioner give company A. It is that report the company A will now use to decide whether to buy that company or not. So all these things, they are example of non-audit assurance. Please, do we understand this? For those of us that are just joining, and for all of us that are in the class before. So haven't we understand this? After everything, either it is assurance engagement or non-assurance engagement, they have 4 elements that combine 4 of them together. 5 elements that combine 4 of them together. So what are these elements? We have party relationship. That is, for any engagement to go through, there must be party relationship. That is, there must be people involved. And what are the people that are used to be involved in any assurance engagement? We have the practitioner, which is me, the auditor, which is you, the auditor or the accountant. The responsible party. The responsible party here, they are talking about the owner of the company, which is the shareholder, and the stakeholder of the company, rather the stakeholder of the company generally, either the people that prepare the account or the owner of the company. They are the stakeholder of the company. So they are the what responsible party. The intended user, those are the people, the final user of that information or that financial statement that the company provides. So the intended user is the third person. So one of the elements is party relationship. And before any engagement can go through, there must be 3 people, at least 3 people that will substitute in that relationship. It is the practitioner, which is me and you, that verify the account, the responsible party, the management of the company that prepare the account that we review, then the intended user, the user of that financial information. These are the 3-party relationship as one of the elements of assurance engagement. The second one is subject matter. Which type of assurance did they call us to come and do? Is it assurance engagement under statutory audit assurance or other audit related service, or it is non-assurance engagement, which is the other part that will talk about the environmental policy, the due diligence, the forensic investigation, and the likes. So that is subject matter. That is the subject matter determine where the type of job, the type of engagement they call us to come and do. The third one is suitable criteria. What are the criteria, the step we need to follow in this kind of engagement? If it is statutory audit assurance, what are the criteria that we need to follow in that engagement? If it is non audit assurance, what are the criteria we need to follow in that engagement. Everything is embedded under suitable criteria, which is the third element of assurance engagement. The fourth one is sufficient and appropriate evidence. Before we can make report, we need to gather evidence. It is this evidence that we gather that will determine whether the account is of transfer view or not. So this talk about sufficient and appropriate evidence. When something is sufficient, it means the quantity, how large evidence you can gather to substantiate that report you want to give, whether it is of transfer view. When something is sufficient, it means the quantity of your evidence. When something is not appropriate, it means the quality. Quality might be small, but it covers almost entire area of that work you are doing, and you can use that small evidence you gather to substantiate and give report on that particular section. That's for appropriateness. Appropriateness under the audit evidence means the quality of your evidence, while the sufficiency means the quantity of your evidence. So the lastly is assurance report. After every work that we are doing, whether being assurance engagement on statutory audit or non-audit related services, we must give an opinion, and the opinion is always expressed in form of report. So after everything, we give report on the work and the what we were able to gather or find out during our review on the financial statement or the other policy we are asked to come and what review. So all these things, they are the element of assurance engagement, and this one brings us to the end of chapter 1. So if you understand this very well, you'll be able to understand chapter 2. Please, for those of us that are just joining, I hope we have learned something. I hope we understand what we are discussing. For those, please, this thing is a very step by step. This is why I take my time is for us to take it from the beginning, because there's no how you will understand. If you don't understand it, there's no how you can move forward. I don't mind if we are not able to finish that question, we'll solve later. But for those of us, I just want us to understand. So we still have a very long ample of time to, at least we are just seeing July and we are able to cover 3 chapters. And before July is end, we will probably move to chapter 5. But let us just do it bit by bit so that as we are progressing, we will understand that, oh, this chapter 2 that they've taught us, oh, I can beat my chest on it. And if any question come, I can tackle it. That's why I take my time to be doing it bit by bit like this. So if you have any question regards to this chapter 1, quickly in the next 5 minutes, please, for those of us that are new or for those of us that are in the class before that need more clarification, please, you have the time now. You can quickly raise up your hand. I will call you, then you ask your question. Any question, please? Can I proceed if there's no question? Let me see your emoji if you want me to proceed and you understand everything. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, okay, Mr. Raphael. Okay, you have the floor, please. Raphael, you have the floor.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Just to get it clearer, you said the non-statutory audit, that's the non-assurance engagement, does not involve information from the financial statement. Now, in the example you gave of company A,
No, don't miss it.
company.
Oh, hold on, don't miss it. I said financial information has to do with figures. So you can't take it like that. I said it does not relate to information. Financial information means figures that incorporate in the financial statement. You know, we have all those statement of financial position, statement of comprehensive income, changes in equity and cash flow. All those figures therein that are made up of that financial statement, those are what we call financial informations. I hope you get it now, so that you can your question.
So what you said now from your explanation now, what it means is the non-statutory audit does not involve financial informations. Is that so?
Yes.
Okay.
They relate to
Okay, I think that's where
policies
I didn't get it.
and environmental policy and other non-financial performance. Review is part of it might be non-audit assurance. Review here now in the sense that that account has been prepared and it has been audited by another person. But in the case that they call you to come and review, in the sense that maybe the auditor they are using before, they don't want to use the auditor again, or they want you to substantiate, they don't want to use the auditor again, and they want to engage new auditor now. So the new auditor, they can call the new auditor, please come and help us to review this account that has been prepared by this auditor in the last 2-3 years. So if there's any observation, you'll be able to correct it in the current year that the new auditor is going to do. That is why they call review. You see, say that review now, it is non-audit assurance because it has already been audited. The account has already been audited by another person. So yeah, you are just coming to come and give them the what you think on what an auditor has done before. So if there's any little changes, you are going to incorporate it in the new audit year that you are going to do. So under that one is non-audit assurance engagement, but it is on review to review the account. So that is why I'm trying to spell it, that any account that have been prepared and have been audited by someone else before, if they call you to come and do any engagement on it, it is non-audit assurance and it must come under review.
Oh, okay. This is very clear, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Any other question? Generally, anybody? Okay. So you can put down your answer. Thank you. So let us quickly move to chapter 2. So this chapter 2 is nothing other than, now we just talked about the chapter 1 that has to do with the assurance engagement itself, the meaning and everything. This chapter 2 covers the regulatory environment that guides the work of an auditor, or that guide a practitioner. Don't let me use only auditor, because not only auditor is a practitioner in this context. We have an accountant, we have an actuary, we have an accountant, an actuary, we have a financial manager, yes, the cost accountant, the management accountant. All these people, they are practitioners. So the regulatory environment that governs the profession or a practitioner is what we call regulatory environment. The laws and regulations that is laid down by the profession to follow for any engagement. That is what we call the regulatory environment of that particular profession. So in this context, the regulatory environment that governs our profession is what we call regulatory environment under this audit and assurance engagement. So why do we need to regulate? Let me ask us that question. Anybody can help us out? Why do we need to regulate assurance and engagement services? Why do we need to regulate it? Why do we need to have laws and regulation that governs the work? That is just the essence of why do we need regulations. Why do we need to regulate? Why did they regulate audit and assurance engagement or audit and assurance services? Why? Yes, Mr. Mohammed. Not only the major one is the major one now is to serve the public interest, but not only that, but the major one is to serve public interest. But this is a professional class. I'm not just expected to say to serve public interest and to just leave it like that. I want to ask us, what are the other reasons or other need for us to regulate audit and assurance services apart from to serve the public interest? So who can tell me? Let me see your hand. Okay, Sulaiman, please. You have the floor. Sulaiman, Miriam. You have the floor. Please quickly. Sulaiman Miriam, you are not there. Let me call another person. Okay. David, please, you have the floor quickly. Okay, David is not responding.
I am
Adebayo,
responding, sir. I'm responding. I'm here.
you are just talking now. We are just hearing you now. You were not talking before.
Sorry.
Please go
I
on. You
just
have
on
the
my.
floor.
Yes, one of the reasons for audit engagement is to improve the public. No, one of the reasons is to improve credibility of the institute. That's number one. Then number two of it is to um, improve public interest. And thirdly is for the purpose of the intended users, for them to make judicial impact for economic decision making.
Okay, that is among others. It's also for us to have this credibility in the assurance engagement we are giving our clients. The credibility, I mean the quality of that engagement should be able to trace to that review or your opinion you are giving your client. It means, but if you do a proper job, then you'll be able to form an opinion. If you do a proper job, it means you must have put a very good quality control together to do a proper job. And by the time you now give report on that work you have done, it will reduce the risk of auditor's liability. We are coming to that in chapter 4, which is auditor's liability. So among others, even to ensure uniformity in the way we prepare the financial statement, in the way we prepare and present the financial statement, it also ensure uniformity in it. So these are the among others. So if they ask you in an exam contest, that they will not never ask you that why do we need to regulate? It's going to come in a scenario based question, and they might just give you story that this is what have been going on. Maybe the company is not following normal regulatory standard. So, or the way they've been preparing the account. So they just ask you from your as a practitioner, your understanding, what are the forms of regulatory environment that guide the professional that accountant or a practitioner must follow, and why do we need that regulation? You know, it's just a simple scenario question. So you're not expected to just start writing to protect public interest. No, you need to substantially know how to relate your answer from the beginning, that the regulatory environment is so that regulates and guide the action of a professional while they are while they are doing their professional responsibility. In spite of this, it ensures the essence of regulatory environment is to protect, is to guide the practitioner in the way they discharge their responsibility. So by guiding them, it will ensure the following: one, to protect the public interest or to serve public interest. You now start listing everything we just mentioned now. You know, you'll be able to substantially narrate your answer, not to just jump straight into the answer, but a proper preamble to tell them that regulatory environment is also this, and under this, it's if we follow this as an auditor, it will help in the following ways. It will serve, it will protect the public interest, it will ensure credibility in the way we prepare and present the financial statement, it will boost the confidence of the final user of that financial information, among others. These are the better way we can answer our, you know, I'm just trying to explain, and now I've indirectly chipped in the way we can be answering questions in the class. But let us proceed. We are still coming to that. So I just want us to quickly understand the essence of this chapter so that we'll be able to know where we stop and how to continue furthermore. So thank you. Let us proceed. I hope we all get it right. So let me see your emoji so that we can proceed. Are we following? Please, is this class getting interesting for those of us that are just joining? I believe that if we understand the concept, we will definitely proceed. We will move on. We will have this wide knowledge about how to answer questions, because this question does not limit us to just write what you have in this summarized note. The summarized note is there for you to make your work easy for you. But as you are reading it and you understand it very well, they are expecting you to think wide. That if you have four answers in your summarized note, you should be able to also think strategically and add two to it to make six. So this is the reason why we take it very, very simple and take it step by step to explain to each other. So at the end of the day, we'll get it right. And for the purpose of our exam, we'll write excellent exam and we'll pass in one sitting. And I pray everybody best of luck to everybody in the upcoming exam. So let us proceed. We have not the need to regulate audit and assurance services. Now, the type of regulation, don't forget, we are talking about regulatory environment. And if you check critically, it is in correlation with what we discussed in chapter 1. The chapter 1, we discussed about the assurance engagement itself. So the chapter 2 now talk about the regulatory environment that guides the assurance engagement services that we are talking about. So we said under this, we've given us the need to regulate audit and assurance. Then we now have two types of regulatory environment under this chapter. We have the ethical regulation and the legal regulation. The ethical regulation has to do with the prevention gogo. The ethical regulation has to do with the prevention, which is the body that regulates our prevention, maybe the ICANN, the laws, and the IFAC or FRC. IFAC is International Federation of Accountants. FRC is Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. So these are the body that regulates the preventions and how we are doing as an auditor, or how to prepare and present the financial statement. All these things, they are ethical regulations. So the legal regulation, it has to do with more of how a company or your client, that company that you want to go and audit, how it is structured, the rules and regulations that guide that company you want to go and audit, and the rules that also guide you as a person that want to audit the company. Everything is called under legal regulation. Like I explained, don't mix it together. Ethical regulation has to do with the regulations or the laws and regulations that guide the professions. That is the profession. What's my profession now? I study accounting. I'm an accountant. I'm an auditor. The laws and regulations that guides me as an auditor, as an accountant, it is what we call ethical regulation. Why legal regulation? It is both law that governs the organization that we want to audit as a practitioner, then the law that also governs us, with the auditor, in line with that company that we want to go and audit. And we have to follow these rules and regulations. Everything is embedded in legal regulation. Please, let me see your emoji if you understand these two regulations that I just described now, so that we can proceed. I'm just seeing few and say, does it mean that you guys don't understand? Okay, thank you. So now, after ethical regulation that I've explained, now the legal, the normal regulation. So the ethical regulation, we are going to continue it in chapter 3, but chapter 2 talks about legal regulation mostly. The chapter 3 will continue from ethical regulation. So that is why I said the reason why I'm taking it so little by little, because chapter 1, if you understand chapter 1, you'll be able to understand the law that governs the chapter 1. Then out of the laws that they stated in chapter 2, they explain one of the laws in chapter 2. The one, they now extend it to chapter 3. So the chapter 2, I just quickly explained the meaning of ethical regulation, which is the laws and regulation that guides the profession as an auditor, as an accountant. While the legal regulation is the law that governs the company that we want to audit, and the law that also governs us, we that want to audit the company, and how we are expected to do in any given engagement. Everything is spelled out in the legal regulation. So You now ask me that what is the difference, what is the relationship that exists between we, the auditor, and the legal regulation in this context? The legal regulation now uh, extend or have relationship or has to do with the external auditor in 7 ways. That is under legal regulation. It has legal regulation, as I explained, is the regulation that governs the company that we want to audit, their corporate governance, their strategies, and we, the auditors that want to audit the company. That is legal regulation. Then you're supposed to ask him that. So what is now the relationship? How does the legal regulation on the company, how does it affect an auditor? It actually affects an auditor in 7 ways. That is, this legal regulation now extend to an auditor that what the legal regulation now covers as an external auditor, that is what it talks about the external auditor. That's what we want to talk about now. The legal regulation. And they now said external auditors and regulation. That is where the laws, where the legal regulation now talks about the activities of an auditor is what we want to discuss about now. So the external auditors and regulation now covers in 7 ways. Here we discuss about an appointment of an auditor. 2, removal of an auditor. 2, 3, resignation of an auditor. 4, remuneration of an auditor. 5, the duties and responsibility of an auditor. 6, the right of an auditor. And 7, the responsibility of the management. I will say it again. I said the relationship that exists between the legal regulation and external auditor can come in 7 ways. And these are: number 1, the appointment of an auditor. Number 2, the removal of an auditor. Number 3, the resignation of an auditor. Number 4, the remuneration of an auditor. Number 5, the responsibility or duty of an auditor. Number 6, the rights of an auditor. While number 7 is the responsibility of the of the management. I will quickly explain this part in 5 minutes to 10 minutes so that I'll be able to understand and also proceed with our class. So, appointment of an auditor. That is, we now want to step into legal regulation, which legal regulation and the relationship that exists between the legal regulation and the external auditor. We said, like we said earlier, it's affected it in 7 ways, and I've mentioned those 7. So let us review those 7 one after the other. On appointment of an auditor, according to KAMA 2020 as it's amended, it states that an auditor of an organization shall be appointed at any annual general meeting for a duration of 1 year. That is, an auditor is being appointed at every annual general meeting of an organization, and it shall be appointed for a duration of 1 year. After that 1 year, an auditor can be appointed, or they might take another auditor. So if an auditor is the same auditor is reappointed, fine. But if another auditor wants to come on board, they must send the notice of that appointment to the regulations within 14 days. Regulation means that the people that regulate the environment of that industry where the organization is operating. Industry in this sense, if it is banking operation, if the banking, one of the commercial bank want to change their external auditor, they need to send the notice of appointment of that new auditor to CBN within 14 days of appointment. So in a nutshell, the appointment of an auditor is telling us that an auditor shall be appointed at every annual general meeting for a duration of 1 year. That such auditor can be appointed, but if otherwise, the new auditor, if new auditor is appointed, they need to send the notice of appointment of those new auditor to the regulation within 14 days of appointment. That is that about appointment of an auditor. Please, do we understand? Let me see your emoji as we progress. Am I communicating? Yes, thank you. Now, to removal of an auditor, same way as auditor can be appointed, is the same way an auditor can be removed. So, according to KAMA 2020, the director of an organization does not have power to remove an auditor, but however, an auditor is also being removed at every annual general meeting based on the resolution passed by the shareholders of 2/3 majority. That is, if 2/3, if we have 10 people as the shareholder at annual general meeting and 6 or 7 support that they should appoint new auditor and they should let the old one go, then such this thing becomes law. So at every annual general meeting, an auditor is being removed. Just like what we said, that an auditor can be reappointed after 1 year, because a new auditor must be appointed at every annual general meeting, which is that their tenure lasts for just a single year. But when they now want to remove an auditor, that is, they send notice of that to commission that governs them within 14 days of removal of that particular auditor. So an auditor is being removed at annual general meeting through a special resolution of 2/3 majority of the shareholders. That is that about removal of an auditor. I hope we understand this. Please let me see your emoji if you understand that. Please let me see as we progress. Are we following this class, everybody? Okay, good. So now, resignation of an auditor. How can auditor resign? So that section 412 and 413 of KAMA 2020 as amended also says that an auditor may choose to resign his appointment. So me as an auditor, I can decide that I don't want to do your auditor again. You know, we said don't forget that at appointment and at removal, uh, they always appoint and remove an auditor at any annual general meeting. But before then, me as an auditor, I can decide that I don't want to be your auditor again. Yes, that or after this account that I'm doing for you, I'm not going to do next year for you. I'm not going to do your audit next year. I want to resign. That's a resignation of an auditor. So section 412 and 413 of KAMA 2020 says that an auditor may choose to resign its appointment due to the following reason. 1, due to unpaid fee. If they are not paying the auditor's remuneration, auditor can choose to resign. If for non-sustenance of auditor's independence, if auditor did not have says on the opinion he gives, maybe there is someone in the organization that is just intimidating the auditor, or is not making the auditor to give information or to give opinion the way it's supposed to give it, that it did not have total independence on that particular opinion that I want to form, then auditor can choose to resign the appointment. Or lack of integrity, when the company they are into illicit transaction and you've warned them over years that they don't want to change, so you can choose to resign. These are examples of the reason why an auditor can resign is the appointment as an auditor of an organization. So after you have resigned due to the following reason, then you as an auditor, you have to do all these things. Number 1, you have to write. Once you decide, you write to the company that, oh, I know I'm no longer your auditor again. So after writing, the statement of that circumstances surrounding the resignation will be stated. That is, you state the reason why you resign your appointment. So in this case, we have to use our discretion. Not that maybe the company is to illicit transaction like money laundering, and you know that if you even blow whistle now, they can even come after your life. So they are not expecting you to state it in your the reason why you resign, know that, oh, because this company, they are into money laundering, so that's why I'm resigning. No, you can use your discretion and say, you can even lie that due to personal reason, or due to you are not paying me well. Or you can even lie that I want to increase my salary, I want to increase my audit fee, and you might not want to pay it, or I have many jobs at hand, I don't want to compromise anything. So you can lie, despite the fact that you know that, oh, this thing said they are into money laundering, so that is why you resign. So after you have resigned, for many reasons that you choose to resign, then you must do the following. You must write it and serve the company. Then you must also state the reason why you resign in that letter. Then the company will now send that letter of your resignation to commission that govern them within 40 days, and all the stakeholders, and to all relevant stakeholders. You send to the relevant stakeholders and the commission that governs the operation of that particular company. Then, if there is time, you can also the company can now call you to come and discuss on if there's anything they can resolve finally. In some organization, when you resign, they will call you and ask, why did you resign? Is it because we are not paying you well? Do you want us to increase your salary or this thing? Some organization do talk like that. If you just drop your letter that you want to resign. So these are the ways in which Karma talk about resignation of an auditor. So let us proceed. The fourth one is remuneration of an auditor. Remuneration of an auditor. The rate at which auditor is being paid, or the amount they pay auditor for any audit engagement, shall be determined by the audit committee. The audit committee is comparison of 3 directors and 3 shareholders. 3 directors in this regard is director that they are active, they are into day-to-day running activities of the business. Those are the 3 directors they are talking about there, and the 3 shareholders, making 6. So it's these 6 people that they will now form audit committee, and these are the people that determines how much they are going to pay an auditor for every audit engagement. And this amount will be proportionately determined based on the company's level of income or revenue or profit. You cannot be making 10 million profit now. They will go and hire a company like KPMG to come and audit them, because KPMG will even collect times 3 or times 4 of the amount you are earning in a year. So that is the reason why they said it is the director, which the people that they knows about the day-to-day running activities of the business. So it can be easy for them to be among the audit committee that will determine the auditor's remuneration, because they are indirectly knows the worth of the company and the liquidity of the company as at that moment, or profitability of the company as at that moment. Then they now use it to determine how much they are going to pay the auditor. Please, do we understand this aspect? Do we understand? Please let me see your emoji if you understand. For those of us that are putting up our hand, please let's put down our hand. Mr. Isa, please let's put down our hand, please. Let's put down our hand. Okay. Mr. Isa, I hope you are listening to us. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let us proceed. Let us proceed. I've talked about remuneration of an auditor. Now, duty of external auditor. What is our duty? The duty of an external auditor here is to examine the financial statement of an organization, to issue report, and to give an opinion or to give report on that financial statement the auditor examine, whether the account is fairly presented, free from material misstatement, and also prepare in accordance with auditor is to examine financial statement in order to give opinion whether the account is free from error, misstatement, fraud, and is also fairly presented and also prepared in accordance with regulatory requirements. That is the duties of an auditor. Now, what is the right of an auditor? The rights of an auditor It's also spelled out in Kama 2020 that the following are the right of an auditor. Auditor have right to access all accounting books and records at all times. It have right to have access to all accounting books and record of particular company. They call him to come and audit. He has right to access all the books of account. He also have right to receive information and explanation necessary for auditor for audit process. All information necessary for the conduct of audit. He also have right to receive all those information. Then you have right to receive the notice of annual general meeting. So an auditor, they can send notice of the meeting, notice of annual general meeting to that particular auditor, because that is where they will decide if the auditor will be reappointed again or it will not be reappointed again. So auditor also have right to receive the notice of annual general meeting, and also it also have rights to attend the annual general meeting. Then auditor also have right to receive the document of all companies resolution, being a memorandum of association or articles of association or all those statutory documents that relate to the company. The auditor have right to those documents. Then finally, under the right, it's have right to speak to shareholder at annual general meeting concerning any matter that affect the audit process or the conduct of audit. These are the rights of an auditor as spelled out in section 407 and 410 of CAMA 2020 as amended. Then lastly, responsibility of an auditor. Responsibility of an auditor. Responsibility of the management, rather. Responsibility of the management. The management is responsible to prepare the financial statement. It's the responsibility of management to prepare the financial statement, then to prevent and detect fraud and error. When we go to chapter 4, there's this thing we call expectation gap. The expectation gap in general context is, should we call them auditor now? The auditor, we now mix the responsibility of an auditor to something else. We assume that it is those auditors that they used to detect if there is fraud or error or misstatement of account in an organization. No, that is not their responsibility. The responsibility of the auditor is just to come and examine what you have prepared. If you prepare this thing and your final answer is ABC, you present your answer to be ABC. So what auditor is coming to come and review the process, the process you follow for you to get this ABC. It does not concern them. So it is out of the process. So from there, people now decide that, oh, it is this auditor, they are the one that their responsibility is to detect fraud and error. No. But in the case of the process of reviewing or doing their engagement, they can detect fraud and error. But the primary responsibility of of the management is to prevent fraud and error, also to prepare financial statements of the organization, to design policies implementation for effective internal control, to allow auditor to access all relevant information and records for audit purposes, and lastly, to also receive additional information that might be relevant for the conduct of audit. So these are the responsibility of the management. And in this 7 way, this is the this is the legal requirement as spelled out in CAMA 2020, and also as a relationship between the law itself and the external auditor. Please, my dear professional colleague, I hope you are following the class. I hope you are enjoying the class. Okay, thank you. So after that, we now move to, so this section that we just talk about is the legal requirement. If you can remember, I said the aspect of ethical requirement will be further explained very well in chapter 3, and that's what we are going to do hopefully on Friday when we continue this class. So by next week, we can now be on the same page and also now proceed to the next chapter. But this this week I want us to use it to have the review and also to cover for the people that they are just joining. So these are the other parts under the regulatory requirement. We have the professional standard. I will not say too much on this. The aspect of professional standard, these are the standard or the standard set by the profession that governs the activities of any practitioner. If you are an accountant, the standard that governs you is IFRS, which is International Financial Reporting Standard. While as an auditor, it is ISA, which is International Standard of Auditing. So professional standard, as the case may be, it's either be ISB or IFAC. These are the people that give us the set of rules and regulations that we need to follow while discharging our professional responsibility. That is that about professional standard. So it can also extend to the quality control, which is IFQC. We will discuss that in chapter 5 properly. But here, the professional standard generally, these are the rules and regulations that governs the way we act or we discharge our responsibility as a practitioner. So, but don't forget, as an accountant, the professional standard that governs the conduct of preparation and presentation of financial statement is IFRS. Why? For an auditor, we have to follow our audit standard, which is ISA, from ISA 200 to ISA 800 and something. So this material analyze all the standards, so you are going to see them one after the other. And this chapter also relates to where those standards are related to. So that is that about that. So that is that about professional standard. Is the standard that governs the auditor's responsibility. Then the corporate governance. The corporate governance here talks about the structures, the way at which organization is being being conducted, how organization is being handled, the strategic way in which organization is being handled, the structure of an organization, the composition, how they operate. Everything is spelled out under corporate governance, and that is that about that. Now, money laundering. We are moving closer. So from this, we'll be able to understand some aspects, some parts of what we'll be talking about in our exercise or the assignment, as the case may be. Money laundering. Money laundering is nothing other than, you will see it in the material, but let me just use math to explain money laundering. Money laundering is nothing other than is just a criminal attempt or that illicit transaction engaged by an organization. So example of that money laundering is company A is into manufacturing of let me say flowers. So, and they have their accountant, and they will have bank statement and everything. So you as an auditor, or don't let me say you as an auditor. So that is so but there's a lot of money are now you will be being diverging to the company's account, and that source of income does not have anything to do with the business at all. The money just entering, like, not that the company does not know where the money is coming from, but the source of that money or the money does not have any business. Like, okay, now a company has a bank account and they are receiving like 20 million into the company account every week. It's not that the company sold something to the other person that is now paying them what he bought. No. So the aspect of money laundering is illicit transaction whereby an organization is receiving a huge amount of money from illicit transaction. Illicit transaction in this context can be money laundering, can be drug trafficking, can be internet fraudster, all those yahoo, can be overpayment from customer. All these things, they are illicit or criminal activities, which is what we call money laundering. How it becomes money laundering is if they are doing it and they are not diverging the money to the business or they are not injecting the money to the business, then that is not money laundering. They can take them for any other criminal activities. But that money that you are receiving from your drug trafficking or internet fraudster, which is internet scam and everything, Yahoo, as the case may be, you are not injecting those money you gain from there. You are not injecting it in your business. That's what we call money laundering. So I'll give us a typical example. This one is a real life scenario that everybody knows. At one point or the other, we'll have seen all those Yahoo boys that we know that they are doing Yahoo, but they have business that they are running. Maybe they have a boutique or they have big stores that maybe they are sharing into one business. But you that you know them very well, you know that, oh, these people is Yahoo they are doing, they are just using this business to cover. So the money they are getting from that Yahoo internet first, they are not putting it in their business. So it's not make the business to look like, oh, the business is doing well. Not knowing that they are using illicit money transaction to finance the business. So in that context, it becomes money laundering. Please, do we understand that aspect of money laundering with the examples? Okay, thank you. So the regulations, these are the Anti-Money Laundering Prohibition Act, and it implements the recommendation of the Financial Action Task Force and in relation to customer due diligence and record keeping. So that's regulation. Now, after this, what is the obligation placed on professional firm in the aspect of money laundering? So now we know that there's money laundering, and we as an auditor or professional firm, and we now find out that, oh, our client is into money laundering. What are the things we need to do? Do we need to report them? Yes, we need to report any money laundering transactions that our client is into. So how do we report? It's not that you just go to maybe this EFCC office that come and see our company they are into. No. You do it with wisdom. Professionally, there's a way we can report any suspicious or illicit transaction. It is called whistle blowing in normal corporate settings. It is called whistle blowing. It's not that you just go that come and see Mr. A is into this illicit transaction. Come and see, lie. But in the corporate world, we call it whistle blowing, in the sense that you go and report that person, and your name will never be mentioned. It's not going to be reviewed. That's what we call whistleblowing. So what is the obligation placed in our hand as a professional firm or individual accountant in the aspect of money laundering? They said we should establish a procedure within the firm for reporting any suspicious money laundering activities. Then the second one is to train our staff, train and staff development and educating staffs about the incidents of money laundering and how we can detect money laundering, and how we can also report any case of money laundering to the authorities in charge. So we need to also train our staff and update them about the procedure for detecting and reporting money laundering activity. Then lastly, we need to put in place system again and procedure to control or to serve a preventive measure of money laundering. You know, money laundering can also happen in an audit firm. Maybe you as an auditor, they know that, oh, you already know the secret of your client. The client is now giving you money. As the client is not giving you money, you are not pumping the money to your audit firm. You are not using it like they will not be using this particular partner is bringing more clients to us. So they don't know that that particular partner is also into what money laundering, because it's also illicit transaction. Any legal transaction that cannot justify the source of that income and how it relates to that particular business you are doing, it is called money laundering. So these are the responsibility placed in the hand of a professional firm as regards to what money laundering activities. Now, the last thing there is the duty of confidentiality and money laundering. Confidentiality is one of the ethical principles established by IFA code. We are going to talk about it in chapter 3 by God grace again when we come on board on Friday. So confidentiality here is talking about is one of the ethical principles that a practitioner must not disclose the information of its client to third party. That is duty of confidentiality. Place in your hand that the information of your client must be safe in your hand, and you must not disclose the information of your client to third party except you are asked to do so in a special way. That we are going to explain it in chapter 3. Then money laundering. So what is it? Money laundering, we have explained the meaning of money laundering, and I just explained the meaning of confidentiality now that we are the rules say that we must not disclose the information of our client to third party. So in this case whereby the client is into money laundering, what does the confidentiality rules says? Does the rules of confidentiality still stand that we don't have to disclose it? No. In this case, the rules of confidentiality, the rules of money confidentiality have to be what? Have to be tarnished, because the rule to report, it is compulsory for all professional or practitioners to report any suspicious activities like money laundering to the authority in charge. So if you are not the one that now stand that but the ethical requirement says that we don't have to disclose the information of our client to third party. No, you have to disclose, because if you did not disclose and the thing goes bad, the thing is going to come back to the auditor that okay, this company is into money laundering. So who is the auditor? The answer is Mr. A and B. Is A and B and co-chartered accountant. They will now come for you. They can seize your license or they give you fine. So that is auditor's liability. That is the penalty you get from not doing what you're supposed to do very well. That is auditor's liability. That will be dealt with in chapter 4. But what does the law says about confidentiality and money laundering? The regulatory requirement now says that in the case of money laundering, the duty of confidentiality will not come to place here, because you have to report any illicit transaction to the authority in charge for them to take proper decision or further investigation. And when you are doing that, you do it in form of whistleblowing, so that the identity of the person that report them will not be what? Will not be revealed. So that is that about chapter 2 on regulatory requirements. So having truly understand this class is going to start by 9:30. I'm going to end the class by 9:30. So having truly understand this very, very well, we can now use it to answer the question that I sent to the group chat. So I'm going to quickly send the question here. We will see it, we will read the question, then I will now share my screen for the suggested solution and the way we are expected to answer it. And for those of us here that attempted the question that we want to go and use AI and just copy it back to me, well done. Thank you for attempting, but it's actually wrong because the thing did not capture the necessary area that is supposed to touch that will give you the maximum mark you deserve. So let's quickly go through the question now and see. So this question number 3, that is what we want to discuss. Please confirm if you can see my screen, please, with your emoji. Is this question number 3 we want to talk about? Please let me see your emoji if you can see my. Okay, that's why I increase it. Okay, so I know many of us attempted this because we're in the group before, but majority of people that attempted it, they use AI to copy the answer. But for the sake of our exam, AI will not be there in our exam hall. So we need to do it professionally and make sure that we also understand what we are asked to write. So I will read the question. You are an auditor with Alex Iyamu and Co. chartered accountant. A client to your firm, Upstart PLC, who is into supply of medical equipment, has requested for annual audit or financial statement preparation. During the course of your audit, you observed a regular inflow of revenue from the bank statement. Okay, and upon inquiry, you were told that these inflows come from the executive director's brother who resides in Malaysia and is without any, note it very well, is without any service render to such individual. This is a great concern and have a report to your boss on issue of criminal activities suspected. Alex Yamu has asked you to write a report to him explaining what money laundering is and stating the obligation and duties placed on auditor. That is, what is the duties and regulation placed on auditor? Placed on auditor as regards to money laundering. So, this is the question. And for those of us that are just joining this class for the first time, I mean, for those of us that are just attempting this advanced audit and assurance for the first time, this is the way the question will be asked in an exam. You will never see what is, or at least the type of this thing that we have. No, it is going to come in a scenario-based question like this. But our ability to understand that scenario very well will make us to prevail over every odds of that exam and will enable us or will be an open mind to what we are going to write and how we are going to answer our question. This is the question again. So the way I used to do it, any scenario-based question, it has 3 things that you must to follow for you to answer, for you to get your proper mark. Number one, you must be able to understand the scenario very well. What this question is talking about, what actually goes wrong. Your understanding of the scenario will be the first step. Then number two, understanding of the requirement. What does the requirement, what did they ask me to even write on? What was the requirement? What was the question is talking about? How does the question want me to attempt to this situation? That is number two. Then number three, you must be able to link your answer. Any answer that you want to provide, you must be able to link it to the given scenario. If you are providing an answer, let your answer be representing that, oh, this answer I'm providing is in relation to the problem highlighted in the scenario above. So if you are doing something else, it means you are not writing at all. And this thing is very, very common for many of us. I can see in chat box, someone said that he has written it 4 times. And I can tell you for free that it's not that you don't know what you are writing, but you are not channeling your answer to proper way. The proper way you're supposed to channel your answer is to link your answer to that scenario. So if they ask you this question now, you just start writing money laundering, you just give them the definition of this thing. They'll just be looking at you. By the time they will mark it now, if the mark allotted to this thing is 10 marks, they'll just give you 2. And in the when you finish the exam, you now be telling your friend that, oh, I attempted that question, I answered it very well. By the time results will now come out, you now see 6/100. You now be asking yourself, how come? How will I have 6? How will I have 10? And those are the people that they used to make mad. I want to call for my script. My sister, my brother, my dear professional colleague, you are just deceiving yourself because you actually got what you wrote. But the question you need to ask yourself, are you doing the right thing? If you are doing the right thing, definitely you get the right thing. So for those of us that are just joining this class for the first time, that this is what and this is how audit and assurance is being programmed. And the following or the way I will show the answer is the way we are expected to answer any given scenario. So I'm going to stop sharing this one so that we can attempt to the answer. I hope we all understand what transpired here. So because you as an auditor, you just find out that the company, there's inflow from executive director's brother in Malaysia. There's inflow from that person to the company's account, and the person is not doing any business with the company, so money is just entering. So you are now, it's now giving you concern that this thing might be sign of money laundering. So when you now tell your boss about it, your boss now asks you to go and write report to him explaining what you understand by money laundering and what is the responsibility or the obligation placed in our hand as an auditor in the case of money laundering, or the duties. What are we supposed to do when we see any case of money laundering? And that is exactly what the question is asking us. And the next thing I'm going to share us is the way we are expected to answer that question in every exam context. So just wait for me, let me share. Okay, please, everybody, I hope you are following me. And I just hope that this class will also help the people that are just joining, so that you'll be able to be following us and track from where we stopped the last time. Please, it is nothing other than this. I just need our sincere concentration, and we need to just be fair, and we need to be genuine in everything we are doing. We need to be genuine in everything we are doing. So if we don't understand, there is no point in we attempting the question, because at the end of the day, we will not get anything. So the first thing to do in any of this type of exam is to understand the scenario very well. You know, from this now, I was able to tell us the problem. The problem is you as an auditor. You already know that, oh, this thing that is happening is red flag, is suspecting something like money laundering. So you told your boss now said, okay, if that is what you observe, now go and tell me, go and write report to me about what you understand by money laundering. And in the case of money laundering, that if money laundering actually exists, what are the things that professionals should follow, or what are the duties placed in our hand in the case of money laundering? So that's what this question is asking us. So after once you are able to interpret the scenario like that, if you understand it, you'll be able to interpret it. That is why I said the first step is to understand the scenario. So once you understand, you'll be able to interpret it very well. Then after that, let me see. I'm trying to share my screen. Please, I hope you can hear me. Please let me see your emoji if you can hear me. So if you understand all these things very well, definitely everything that follows, we'll be able to say one or two things about it. So even though it is just that question number 3 you can solve, then we'll be able to solve it very well and understand what we are asked to do on it. Let me cancel it and share again. Let me cancel and share again. Okay, so please confirm if you can see my screen here, please. Please, I hope you can see my screen. Okay, let me increase the font for us. So that we all see this and see how we are going to go about it. This is very simple way. The reason why I put it like this, I can as well just use my mouth to to just provide the solution, but people will not see understand or the genuinity of this way to answer this question. And they might just tend to just forget after that time we discussed about it. So that's why I just took my time and do this. Now, the requirement is, they said, write reports to your what? To your partner. Your partner asks you to write report to him and explain the meaning of money laundering and the duties placed in our hand as a practitioner or professional. This is it. This is what they are telling us. So first of all, we need to understand where we get it wrong. You will have forgotten that they said we should write reports. How do we write reports? We have two types of reports. We have internal report and external report. If it is internal report, it's going to be from the person that write the report to the person that will receive the report. Just like when we are writing formal letter and informal letter, that time that they will say is just one address, that is your address, and you just start and you can extend. But if it is formal letter, you write the person address and your address. So just see external report as you are writing formal letter, because you are going to write your address, the auditor's address, and the address of what? The address of the person you are writing to. So that is external report. But it is the organ in your office that told you to write report to him, explaining the meaning of money laundering and what, and the duties placed in our hand as our auditor and responsibility in the case of money laundering. So this thing already tell us that it is internal report, because you are writing report to your organ directly. So you don't need your company's address again. So how you are going to start it is, you just write a report to Alex Iyamu, which is your guy that asked you to write report. Then after you write it, you now write, see the way I wrote it, report to Alex Iyamu, partners, Alex Iyamu and Co. Chartered Accountant. That is your partner. Then who wrote the report is me, Smith Adeyemi. That's not my name. I just wrote it like that. Smith Adeyemi. You write your position, Audit Senior at Alex Iyamu and Co. Chartered Accountant. That is, so if you do it like this, if the mark is already 10 mark, you already have one. You know, you've not even started writing anything. You already have 1 mark, because you do a proper way, you follow proper way in writing report, and you decide that whether it is internal report or external report. Now, in this case, it is internal report. This is what you are going to write. You just write internal memo, report to Alex Iyami, right? Report from Smith Adeyemi, and subject. What are you going to write? Suspicious of money laundering and auditor's obligation. And this is how you are going to start. This thing, you can say because I'm the one lecturing advanced audit and assurance. That's why I understand it like this. But that is the reason why I also take my time to explain this thing from the beginning, step by step. And at every point in time, I used to tell us the tips on how to answer the question, that the question is not going to come directly. It's going to come in a scenario-based question. So your understanding of that scenario and understanding of what they're asking you to write on will give you a better platform on how you are going to write. You can go to many lengths. In fact, if this one is 10 marks, you can use 3 pages. Yes, you can use 3 pages. That 3 page, it means that you actually understand what you are writing. Although there are sometimes that you don't know what you are writing, you just be writing rubbish. I mean, you actually understand the concept and you try to extend and exploit all those exploit your understanding on that particular scenario. So don't let me talk too much. Let me just proceed. So I've explained the aspect of how to write this thing, report to and from. Then you now proceed. Subject, suspicious of money laundering and auditor's obligation. You can also write money laundering and auditor's obligation in regards to money laundering. It depends on your understanding. But this one, that's why I put it suggested solution. I did not say that this is the correct one. Suggested, it means that you can also so far you did not derive from the normal protocol you need to follow by follow this normal standard of writing reports, and you try to link your answer to the given scenario. Please, my dear professional colleague, let us listen and go with me carefully on and report this thing. I said, dear Alex, I hope this report find you well. During the course of our audit engagement, you are trying to now reiterate from what you observed before. In the question, they state that we observe that the company, there is inflow of the money from this thing, and upon the inquiry, they said the money comes from executive director's brother in Malaysia. So when you now want to start your this thing, you will now going to refrain from that this thing you observe, and you link it to that company you link it to that particular company that you are talking about. See, I said, I hope this report find you well. During the course of our audit engagement of Abstract PLC, that is the name of the company. If you remember, I said, try the tips 3 where that I gave us that we should link our answer to the given scenario. The given scenario here is the Abstract PLC. Everything we are going to be writing on is on Abstract PLC. So when you are providing your answer, you must be able to make reference to that Abstract PLC, that this report I am preparing, this answer I'm providing, is regards to Abstract PLC. Please, I hope you are following. Please let me see your emoji. This is a critical part that we need to take our time. So I said, during the course of our audit engagement of Abstract PLC, a company engaged in supply of chemical equipment, we observe a regular inflow of revenue from the bank statement that appears to be from the executive director brother who resides in Malaysia. So upon inquiry and investigation, all this thing was set in the question that when you ask them, they now told you that this is it. So you continue again that upon the inquiry and investigation, we were informed that this inflow is without any apparent service render by individual. This transaction has raised concern about potential money laundering activities. From this context, I hereby explain the meaning of money laundering, the duties and obligations of practitioner on the above subject matter to substantiate my claim on the above subject matter on the audit engagement of Abstract PLC. This is my own preamble. It's me that said this myself. This is my own preamble. This is my own preamble because I am able to understand the scenario very well. Then I now be able to construct my preamble in a very suitable way. This is a preamble. You can see, for those of us that attended this question, you can see that this is a very sweet and nice preamble. So now see the way they are marking us now. You see that address, the way you construct your internal report and external reports now, that is already 1 mark. See this preamble now, the suitable this preamble you are seeing can give me 3 marks. Can give me 2 marks because from this my preamble, it gives the marker insight that, oh, this preamble is leading me to the answer I want to provide on this particular on this particular subject matter by giving the proper preamble that relates the Abstract PLC, what Abstract PLC is doing, and what they ask me what to do. See, and I said, from this context, I hereby explain the meaning of money laundering, the duties and obligation of the practitioner on the above subject matter to substantiate my claim on the above subject matter on the audit engagement of what? Abstract PLC. That, and I said below is the explanation of the subject matter, money laundering, which is what they asked me to write. So for those of us that attempted it, you give me the preamble, but the preamble is not linking your answer to this scenario, and it just start again, money laundering. You can see I said from here, I said the from this context, This is what actually lead me to that answer. And after I've given them the preamble from I hope this report to this last one to this money laundry activities, the other preamble that I gave them, that after I've analyzed, I try to reanalyze the problem again in this scenario, in this preamble. What happened in the scenario that they point out in the scenario, and now try to reconstruct it to form my scenario, to form my preamble, and that is what I put here. From that, I hope to this money laundry activities. Then the other set of preamble, and I said before I can now. So the next preamble, and I said that. So the next thing you will see is the provision or the meaning or what they are asking me to write about the particular issue that happens. So I've tried to reconstruct the issues that happen in the scenario, which is what you see. They are now said, so my own provision of the answer now start from this, that because the first preamble I gave them is reconstruction of what they actually tell me in the scenario. So the second preamble, which is the one that now relate to what I think in my mind, is from this context, I hereby explain the meaning of money laundering, the duties and obligations of the practitioner on the above subject matter. What is the subject matter? Money laundering and the duties and this thing. That is the subject matter. And to substantiate the claim on the above subject matter on the audit engagement of Abstract PLC. That is to substantiate what I actually discover about Abstract PLC. Below is the explanation of the subject matter, money laundering. And I explain. Money laundering is the process by which the criminal attempt to conceal the true origin and ownership of proceed. In a financial word, proceed means sales or sales of something. The money you get from sales of something. If you were doing capital allowance, they said proceed from sales of fixed assets. That is the money you realize from sales of fixed assets is what we call proceed. So, and I said that money laundering is the process by which criminal attempt to conceal the true origin and ownership of the proceed from their criminal activities. Money laundering is a process by which money earned from criminal activities is transferred, presented, or transformed so that it appears to have come from legitimate source. Criminal activities include 1, drug trafficking, terrorist financing, theft, tax evasion, internet fraud, retaining overpayment from customer, bribe, attempt to conspire or incitement to commit fraud, aiding and abetting criminal offences, and other types of fraud. However, from the above definition of money laundering, we could conclude that Abstract PLC, without any doubt, is into illicit transaction of money laundering. You know, the last this thing I put there is to subject. So that's what I said there, that from the above definition of money laundering, we now conclude that I try to substantiate that that we now conclude that Abstract PLC, without any doubt, is into illicit transaction of what? Money laundering. Please, do we understand? Please let me see your emoji if you are following this class. Please, are you following? I took my time to actually do this so that we all be on the same page. So after that, this is the first part. We just finished the first part. Then you cannot just start and start saying, they ask us the meaning of money laundering. We have substantiated and we try to link it together. And they now said again, we should state the duties. You cannot just start at this point that you just write duties of an auditor in money laundering case. No, it is never like that. You will see the way I continue here. So let's see. After this, and I said, furthermore, from the above analysis of case of illicit transaction of money laundering by Afstar PLC, a company that engage in the company, and I told them what the company is into. Company engaged in supply of medical equipment. Below are the legal and ethical requirements on the duties and obligations placed in the hand of audit firm and auditor in relation to illicit transactions of money laundering. As an auditor, we have responsibility to report suspicious transactions that may indicate money laundering activities. Our obligation and duties in this regard includes now the following. You can now say established procedure. That is, I'm now trying to provide the duties that the profession places in our hand for to rescue the aspect of money laundering. Can you see the way I construct this? And I said, as an auditor, we have responsibility to report suspicious transactions that may indicate money laundering activities. However, our obligation and duty in this regard will include established procedure within the firm to report any suspicious money laundering activities, training and educating staff in procedure for detecting and reporting suspicious money laundering activities, put in place a system, procedure, and control that will serve as preventive measure to monitor money, to measure money laundering, and consider withdrawing from the engagement if we are unable to obtain sufficient assurance that the financial statements are free from what material misstatement, and we may need to consider the withdrawing from what from the engagement. That is what they ask me. But when you are writing letter, will you just finish writing and you just say just faithfully? You must close it with closing ending. Closing ending is like a remark or something. So you now see my remark, and I said, I will appreciate your professional guidance and also comment where necessary on how to proceed further with this matter. Please let me know if you require any additional information or discussion. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Best regard. You now write your name. Smith Adeyemi, Senior Auditor, Alex and Co. Chartered Accountant. This one now, you might think that the process is long, but there's no I want to bet you. If it in the exam, they ask me to write this for 15 marks, I am getting 14 over 15. If they can't give me 15, they'll give me 14. So it is a question of mind. Ask yourself, for those of you that have attempted it, do you do it like this? For those of you that put it in AI and give me answer, will AI do it like this for you? No. AI will never do like this for you. AI will only give you an insight. You just leave it with the problem. Try and figure it out yourself. You can see this is a special way we are expected to attempt questions in an advanced audit and assurance. Then something should be sending signal to us that this is not like SFM. This is not like SBR, that they have formats. This one has to do with my ability to understand what they ask me and how I can provide answer to it. In the case of SFM, they will give you cost of capital, they will give you the rate to follow. You just to read it and interpret the rate and put it, you get your answer. In SBR, if they give you financial statement like this, they give you how to consolidate. You already know consolidation, this thing, their cost of control, and you know the accounting standard to follow. You are good to go. But here, which accounting standard will you follow to give you all these things? And that is how the technicality of the question is going to be. I'm not trying to scare you. This is the reason why you have us here at APES, to substantiate it for you, to make it easy for you, to make it be like, the reason why I did it like this is you go back in your own time that you are studying that this kind of question, I can now still also put my own. You know, this thing I said suggested solution. You might as well bring a better report that will add some spices more than what I presented. But in my own way, this is the best I know that I can present my answer. And I bet you, if this mark is 15 mark, I am getting nothing less than 14. It is a question of mind. You can also testify within your mind that, oh, this is just absolute justice to what they asked me to do. But let us see this thing. I'm sure we will see this answer, and I'm going to post some answer that some people attended to. You now see that, oh, these people, they actually use AI to get the answer. But irrespective of everything, we all try. And for those of you that are just joining, this is Advanced Audit and Assurance. And by God's grace, everybody, I pray that we are going to excel in the exam, as the case may be. And please let us read very well. So, this is where we are going to stop for today. Like as I said, for those of us that are streaming live on YouTube, please help us subscribe to this YouTube channel. As you are watching it live like that, please subscribe. It's not going to remove anything from you. This thing is to help us to serve you better. Then for those of us that will be watching this video again, when you are watching, please also subscribe to the YouTube channel. So thank you, everybody. And if you like I said earlier, this class we are not collecting anything from you, but this is the only way you can also give back to the APES by buying the material and also pay for revision class when we call for revision class. So if you are interested in the material, as I said, please reach out to me after the class. And this is where we are going to stop for today. So thank you, everybody, for listening, for staying through the class, for being with us. And I hope that we have learned one or two things. For those of us that are new, I took my time to explain from chapter 1 and 2 and where we stopped, then how to answer questions, because this question was from chapter 2. Then by Friday, I will explain chapter 3 again. Then I will now give us questions that relate to chapter 3. We are going to try together that day. Then we'll now move to chapter 4 by next week. So by that, people that are just joined this week, they must have been able to cover everything from chapter 1 and 2 and 3 that we discussed about by the end of this week. And thank you, everybody, for staying tuned. As I said, please help us subscribe to the YouTube channel. And please reach out to me for the material after the class. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.